Hi, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I have a special guest. We have SDotAkuma, who took first place at the first Origins Transformers TCG Energon Invitational preliminaries. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey man, I appreciate you having me, man. Thanks a lot. What's
Yeah,
going
so
on?
I've been doing this kind of little series so far. I'm trying to get the top four. We'll see if I can work my way down to the top eight of players at Origins. Just trying to get everyone introduced to the community and pick their brains a little bit. So I did a little bit of research on you. I'll admit I assumed with the name S.Akuma you had a fighting game background, but as I go through your YouTube channel, all I saw was Yu-Gi-Oh stuff.
Yep.
So I wanted to double check. Did you play any Street Fighter like
I do.
competitively?
I play strictly fighting games, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, all that good stuff, and like family games on Nintendo, Mario type games. That's about it. So I just always like Akuma's my favorite character of all time of anything. Like Scorpion is a close second, but Akuma's my boy. So I've always just kind of repped that, and that's always just been my name. So yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's changed. It's actually changed throughout the years. Like it used to just be Akuma 1921, and then actually recently when I started picking up competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, it's an app on the phone, and my name was S.Akuma on there. So eventually I just changed my name to S.Akuma. So I'm just S.Akuma everywhere, now.
Oh,
So
that makes sense. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, you get some
yep.
unified branding. So I did want to, I wanted because this is a question I've asked everyone. I'm actually not sure about Brian from Wreck and Roll,
Okay.
but the other top four finishers, Matt from Nano Machines, Dan from Vector Sigma, they played games TCGs previously, and you obviously have a history with Yu-Gi-Oh. I wanted
Yeah, very
to,
heavy Yu-Gi-Oh! Since
yeah.
2000. I mean, since '03, since the very first structure, or Kaiba and Yugi structure decks came out, and then I started playing competitive in 2007 up to about 2014ish, 15ish,
Oh wow, so
and
like 7 years of that's
yeah, traveling all over to Cali, Texas, Ohio a couple times. I've been there before. Florida, everywhere. It was a cool experience doing all that traveling.
so competitive. The competitive level on trading card games was not an entirely new experience to you.
No, that's all I specifically came here for. To be honest with you, was the competitive. I saw that it was a new game. My friend introduced me to it, and yeah, that was pretty much it. I just came. I was probably the happiest when they announced organized play. Personally,
Okay.
I feel like because yeah, that's exactly what I came here for. I grew up with Transformers, but Beast Wars, not like Gen 1 or anything
Hey,
like that.
no, dude,
So
same here, man.
yeah, yep.
I
So I'm really hoping for a Beast Wars wave. I'm all in with that. So,
will see. John
but
and
yeah,
Ken seem to be holding that one close to the chest, but
yeah,
hopefully.
man, that's gonna blow up. Yeah.
So that's my way of getting leverage, right? Anyone who doesn't care about a particular character, I'm telling them if they win first place at the Invitational, do Dinobot. Make them do a
Right.
Beast Wars
Yes. Yep.
character.
Yep. Definitely. And I really want to play Gorilla Prime because he's probably my favorite. So him
Oh
and
yeah,
Dinobot.
Optimus Primal would
Yep.
be awesome. Yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
So you said like you're a Transformers fan, but you got in more for the competitive scene.
Yeah.
Was there?
Strictly, honestly, like I like to have fun or whatever, and like play test new things. But
Yeah.
I'm definitely coming in for. I'm coming for heads. So.
Was yeah, and I mean you're taking him so far. Was there something mechanically that drew you to the game versus because I'm not that familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh. I know there's definitely some differences. But was there something in the Transformers game format that you saw that was like this is what I want to do competitively?
Just the strategy and like how like when you attack with somebody you have to attack that character, so like you have to be very careful on like it's very sequential. It's not just simple, activate this, activate that, and then pass turn. Like like I like, especially with the secret actions coming out, that reminds me of I like being able to interact on your opponent's turn. I'll say that. So the more skill intensive it gets and the more it makes you think, the more I'm in. So that's the strategy was definitely what drew me, and it was
Gotcha.
very ABC to learn. It's ABC to learn, but it's the strategy is top notch at another level. One wrong move can cost you the entire match. Usually the game is a game of inches, and you know usually the games are close. But yeah, one wrong move and all of a sudden it toggles to your opponent, and if they can take advantage of it, they'll take the win. So I like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And that's something that Dan and I were talking about in his discussion also. That
Yep,
like the Transformers, I think, has a very unique tempo, which I think is appealing. Um,
definitely.
And like I got into it more for the characters at first, but now that I'm in, like I am loving. Uh, your actions seem a little more limited each turn, but that just means
Right,
that
right.
the individual decision you makes has like it's so much more important. It seems like to make
Exactly. I
sure
was
you
gonna
do the
say play
right
the
thing
most
at the right
important
time.
ones.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
So what? When you first started
And
playing?
real quick,
Oh
by the
yeah,
way,
go
I
ahead.
like that you can't get OTK'd in this game. I like that your opponent can't set up a ridiculous board like Yu-Gi-Oh! And then like if you don't have these certain cards in your hand, you can't break the board and you lose. So I like that there's besides that deck that got swap parts banned, I'm liking that there's a turn-based thing and it can go a while.
Gotcha. There's no win condition that like is able to ignore the kill a character part.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see like as I think that's something the designers are keeping in mind as they move forward is
Which is
avoiding
cool.
another
I like
swap
that.
parts thing. Yep. Did you kind of fall out of Yu-Gi-Oh with a certain amount of power creep or a certain amount of
No,
degenerate combos or something?
honestly, just my job. I work for the post office. I'm a letter carrier now,
Hmm.
and I've been doing that for about 5 years now. And at the time, the job when I first started, it was a non-career position. And long story short, I lost my Saturdays, so I was working all weekends, well, Saturday and Sunday, and those are the days you really need to go to regional tournaments to qualify for nationals, and then and all that good stuff. And like the YCS tournaments, which are usually the big tournaments, they hold about maybe 8 or so big ones per year,
Hmm.
and like over thousands of people go to all of those. But yeah, so it was pretty much my job. And then by the time I became career and was able to have time off on the weekends, the game was just too far gone, and I just was not interested anymore. So I did pick up
Gotcha.
Duel Links to still have the reminiscing of playing, but overall, I think I don't want to say done forever, but with the physical card game, I'm definitely since I picked up Transformers, I don't want to pick up too many games. It's a
Yeah,
lot of money.
yeah.
So
There's a certain budget limit there.
yeah, right, right, and I got a kid now too, so there's that. So I got to
Oh
be
yeah.
careful.
Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
already feeling the budget. Like I'm like, okay, if they keep a pace of 4 waves per year, I can keep up with that. But if they ramp
For
up any
sure.
more than that, like that's gonna be
Right.
tough.
And
What
what's nice is that's another thing with Yu-Gi-Oh. Sorry if I'm taking this question
Oh
from
no,
you.
go
Maybe I
ahead.
should wait. But I like the aspect of the cash. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, you win prize cards that are worth thousands of dollars, and like PlayStations, Xboxes, and all that cool stuff. I always saw when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh that Magic were doing these cash tournaments all the time, and I'm like, man, Konami sucks. What are they doing over here? Let's do some
Oh,
cash
that's
prizes and stuff
interesting.
like
I
that.
didn't realize that. So they
Oh
give
yeah,
you they give you
unless it's like a
swag,
yeah, yep.
and you have
Unless
to
it's like
flip it.
a 1K, like a store holds a 1K tournament or whatever and split that up.
Hmm.
It was never an official Konami event that they held just specifically for money and prizes or whatever. So I like that aspect because piggybacking off what you said about budgeting, if you top and you do well, you can make a lot of money and use that money to recur your next trip and boxes and stuff like that to get the cards you need
Yeah,
for the future.
exactly. Exactly. Like you said, you're if you're going after heads like that, what you won at Origins pays for Gen Con basically.
Right,
Plus,
exactly, pretty
yeah,
much. Yep, yep. In a sense, I think I can get a case with it too. So I'm kind of at first I was kind of stingy with it. I'm like, well, why am I holding it? What's the point of holding it if you're not going to use it to continuously go to these events? So it was kind of like a just kind of shocked that I won that type of money because I never won that type of money just straight up
yeah.
in the card game before. So it was nice.
Yeah,
So
and speaking of that, I mean, besides the top level guys, like I'll say again and again, I'm a mediocre level player, but I still came out from
I've seen you
Origins with
grow though,
more
man. I
money.
don't know, man. You were kicking ass at Origins. I've seen you.
Appreciate
Like looking
it.
at your videos from a couple months ago to now, and I know Vector Sigma
Yeah,
helping out and stuff
I've
like
learned
that.
one
So
thing or two. Yeah, but yeah,
yeah, for sure,
like,
man.
and I want to encourage anyone else who's might be listening who's unsure about going and playing organized play. Like I only made top 32, but I still came away with more than I spent to get there with the prize money plus the packs and stuff for
No,
the
okay,
prelim stuff. So like
for sure, for
anyone out
sure.
there who's thinking about organized play, like go take your shot, man. Especially at Gen Con,
And
I think it'd
honestly,
be
I
a
think
lot
the
of fun.
biggest thing is to not look at it as spending $300 on a plane ticket and then $200 for a hotel. I think you mainly want to go to have fun, and you don't want to think about breaking even when you go to these events.
Yep,
But of
yep.
course, it's nice, just focus and do what you have to do. You make a mistake, make sure you learn from it so you don't do it again, and then put yourself in a position where you're walking home with no money or no prize support at all. So I don't. I get that people want to break even or just like, oh, I lost money, but it's just like look at it like a beach trip. When you go to the
Yep.
beach, you're not getting that money back from the beach. You're enjoying the beach. So
Yeah,
kind of look at it like
exactly.
that. Plus, you can make money. So
Yep. Plus, if people are on a budget, I mean, I think you and I have both experienced this upswell in community support. Like, there's people on Facebook, the Transformers Facebook group, that are meeting up and trying to figure out, okay, can I share a room with someone to help make the hotel expenses cheaper, that sort of
yeah,
stuff. Like,
yep.
there's all sorts of resources to reach out to try and make things more affordable if
I will
anyone's
say
planning on going.
people are very nice in this game so far. I have somebody that offered me to stay with them at Gen Con already, just
Oh,
randomly.
nice.
I don't know these guys, but I'm thinking about it. That's my one of my options. I stayed
Yep.
with Brian and Kyle from Wrecking Rule
Oh, nice.
at this event. Yeah, so that was cool. They reached out to me, and I was like, oh man, you stay with some of my favorite YouTubers, so that was pretty cool.
So on your YouTube channel, if I'm looking through the first deck I see you play, Insecticons versus Double Primes, I wanted to
Yep.
check what was the deck that you first picked up when you were checking out Transformers? Did you start with the starter deck, or did you jump into here's a deck list that I want to go play and figure the game out?
Yeah, I bought boxes, and then my main goal was to go find deck lists of people that were there any events or whatever to play or that were played, and a deck that did well. And the first deck that caught my eye was Double Prime,
Hmm.
and I went from there. And then it's funny, I met Mark, didn't even know who he was at the time, but I read the Vector Sigma page and listened to a lot of their podcasts before I met Mark. And then Mark actually came to our store over here at the Adventurers Guild in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and he was telling me some things like you should try to attack Optimus Prime, or excuse me, you should flip Prime and try to attack Flame War and try to one hit KO her with Leap into Battle or whatever, try to get the one hit KO in the first turn. And he was telling me those things, and I'm sitting here like, man, who is this guy? He don't know what he's talking about. Like, what? But as soon as he said his name and I put two and two together, it just clicked from there. And that's who I knew I needed to go to in order to get to the competitive scene and learn what I needed to learn from there. And then I met Scott and Dan, and from there. So yeah, Double Prime was my first deck and the first deck that attracted me. My girlfriend played it. When we were opening packs, she kept pulling a lot of Insecticon cards, so she was like, "Oh, I think I want to play this deck," and didn't know or realize the powerhouse of a deck that it is until she kept kicking my ass with kickback in Barrage, and I'm like, "Okay, this deck's annoying," you know. But it's funny though. I will say we always have an argument. She was like, "I'll still beat you," but it's funny because we played a lot of Double Prime versus the Insecticons, behind the scenes,
Yep.
and got so used to that matchup. But then once the three wide Prime deck came out, that deck was a lot better versus Insecticons. And towards the end of her pregnancy, we were playing. I started kicking her butt because the three wide deck was better, versus
Yeah.
Insecticons. And then after we had the baby, she hasn't unfortunately really played that much, but the last shades of us playing is me kicking her butt. So
There you
she'll
go.
get her revenge soon, I'm sure.
So
Yep.
yeah, I guess I'm curious about your progression through the decks that you've enjoyed playing, because you and I think, well, David Ping also, like there were a handful of Sentinels players there. I know you took the three wide prime in the top 32, but
Right.
you played what did you play? You did not play Thursday, correct?
Yeah, I didn't come in Thursday, but I came Friday, and I knew that what better way to start the weekend with playing my favorite deck, the deck
Yeah.
that everybody knows me to play, I guess. So, yeah, I played my version, and I got ninth. So I lost the first round, which sucked, and I needed to go 5-1 to
Hmm.
guarantee getting in, or at least win out until the last round and go 4-2 in the last round to cut to maybe like fifth through eighth place, possibly. But
Yep.
I lost round one, won two in a row, lost round four, and then I won the last two, but that put me in ninth, so that was unfortunate.
Did you kind of know coming, because that was one of the things that I think my inexperience, I didn't have a top 32 deck planned. I just had the decks that I was familiar with. Did you come
I
into the
didn't either.
tournament?
I
Oh,
didn't
okay,
either.
okay.
It
That's what
was
I was gonna
it
ask.
was yeah, yep. I mean the deck, like saying the three wide deck evolved from 7 Star Prime to Hot Rod.
Hmm.
I always just kind of had the deck there and like played it for fun. But I was
Hmm.
like, you know what? This deck might really be a good call for this tournament because my biggest thing was having a comfortable Insecticon matchup, and
Yep.
Sentinels don't. And
Yep.
that's why I brought Sentinels the first day, and then I switched to I sided security checkpoints Friday. Then I ended up maining them the first event Saturday, and I just did even worse. Like a lot of my flips were just bad, and I just had really a lot of bad luck.
You
So
played
I
Sentinels again Saturday morning.
Yeah, and I shouldn't have. I should have played cards or something. And but then again, I'm not experienced with that deck because it's a little complex.
Yep.
So I mean, it's all good though. But yeah, I
And
got it with the third one with Aerialbots. So
got you. So you qualified with Aerialbots, and
yep,
then kind of in what you saw in your 3 preliminaries that you took place, and you were thinking, okay, I know Insecticons are going to show up in top 32, probably
heavy.
Aerialbots,
Yep,
and that's where
yep.
you were thinking about the 3-wide prime.
Yeah, there was just no other deck that I was comfortable with. I knew I wasn't taking Sentinels because of the headache it gave me.
Yeah.
Although I love that deck, and that's another reason with side decking. I was thinking, well, let me try that second time I played with it. It's like we have side decks now. I'm siding force fields. I still functions. Let's see
Yep.
if that helps the Insecticon matchup. But it just doesn't matter sometimes, to be honest. Maybe I got unlucky, but
No,
overall,
I think actually sideboarding, because I've gone through the same kind of crisis of faith with Sentinels also, because that's my favorite team right now,
nice,
because
nice.
I love their KO shenanigans. But I
Yeah,
was
it's
talking,
ridiculous. You get extra cards in your hand.
yeah, I was talking with Mark and Dan about it, and they're like, they walked me through like, look, the other decks can sideboard a character, like 3-wide primes can go 2 wide.
Right.
Different decks, Aerialbots can reconfigure into a pseudo 3-wide prime. Sentinels can't really sideboard a character because if you do, then all of a sudden you've lost all your KO
Right.
table guys.
Yep. And on the way there, it was funny. For like 40 minutes, I had this really good idea on the way to Ohio. I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
you were
man,
telling me about this.
I can side deck Scrapnel. That's a really good idea, man. Yeah, I can send Scrapnel. I can even flip him since my guys in the front don't want to flip. I can just flip him and tap a guy. And I'm like, oh, wait. I had to read Prime on the way there. I'm like, oh, the other 2 have to be Sentinels in order to start with the KO. So it
Yeah.
was a good idea for 40 minutes. And then I realized it wasn't correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that is one of their drawbacks, unfortunately. But it is what it is.
Yeah. So congratulations again on your first place finish. But now I'm sure you
Thanks.
said you were coming after friends heads. Now you've
Yeah,
got people coming after your head.
I see. Yeah, man. Oh man, like it's. I was honestly thinking that I wasn't going to share this. This is something I was thinking to myself. I'm like, man, now when I lose, people are gonna like look at me and like it's gonna be like people gonna. I don't want to say people are gonna think I'm invincible, but at the same time, that is what I'm saying. Like that weekend was just my weekend. That's all. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be a thing of like people having confidence when they beat me now or whatever. And it is whatever. It's really not. It's just something I'm thinking about in my head. It's my like
Yeah.
battle with my ego and my humbleness, and like and I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
not even thinking about that championship no more. I mean, I'm happy I got it, but I'm hungry for more.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
said, I came here for the competitive sense. So it's like now when I lose, now I really got this like light shining on me. Like, oh man, yep, yeah, I lost. Yes, yeah, I lost.
So
So
what does your I guess road to Gen Con look like? Because you're over there in the East Coast, Philadelphia, Jersey area with everyone else. Do
yeah,
you guys
which
have
is a blessing. It's nice.
Yeah, yeah, you guys have a great scene to play against, and I want to touch on kind of your practice a little later because I thought it was very interesting. But do you guys have store qualifier events before Gen Con, or do those all happen after Gen Con?
I'm gonna say the one in September is over towards Swarthmore, which is where Vector Sigma and Wrecking Rule come to. And I don't even know if I'll go at this point, but I think the one at my store, literally 5 minutes from me. I'm
Mhm.
not sure when it's gonna be. I want to say it's gonna be before Gen Con, but I'm not 100% sure. But
In terms of getting ready for Gen Con and with Siege, right? Siege, you've got your box already, but then
yeah,
Siege officially launches this weekend. Is
can't wait.
there a particular character or deck that you're already looking at and saying, this is what I want to try first? Or do you go back and say, okay, how do I make the best Sentinels or 3-wide prime deck I can with the tools I have in Siege now and then go on to see the new stuff?
Right. So I'm thinking about immediately. I was thinking about General Prime to
Hmm.
side deck over Nemesis
Yep.
because he'll give Optimus a tough one, but that 4 attack might not be stellar enough because Nemesis has that 6. So I'm like maybe not him. Possibly maybe even Ultra Magnus without his armor.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's still
Ultra Magnus
12.
is big, right?
Yeah, and
Like,
he's brave. So he still only has 5 versus Nemesis 6, but he's 17-1, and then he has 5 attack, and he's brave. You can never attack Optimus like ever.
Yeah, yeah.
So until you kill Magnus, so I keep putting all my armors on Magnus. You keep trying to get
Yep.
rid of Magnus, and all the while Optimus just beating you down. It
Yep.
literally sounds ridiculous, and I think that's my first go to. I want to try Fire Cons. I want to. There's a deck I'm thinking about: Wheeljack, Cliff Jumper, and Lionizer,
Oh,
and you get a
interesting.
star
Yep.
card.
A lot of
Yeah, yeah,
orange. Yep.
yep. It sounds ridiculous. You get a lot of advantage off of Cliff Jumper, and of course now you really want to draw Piece of Tyranny now. So,
Yep. Yeah, yeah. That's the thing,
so
right? The weaponizers kind of make Peace Through Tyranny like a really
it's ridiculous.
interesting, like, okay, let me use Peace Through Tyranny, kill the weaponizer. Oh, great! I've got a weapon that I can equip to someone for
Right.
my next turn.
Yep. And it's so much value because like even with Wheeljack in his other mode, like kill your Lionizer and then put it on Wheeljack in alt mode, you'll trigger his effect. If it gets killed on their turn, like when you send it in, you can put it on Wheeljack and trigger its effect on their turn to kind of sift through a card. So it's just a
Yep.
lot of that. And then Cliff Jumper is drawing you a lot of cards to
Yeah.
find your specific cards. One shall stand. It sounds really broken, so can't wait to build it.
Yeah, Cliff Jumper is an interesting one. I still haven't got my hands on one, but I could
Mm.
see myself trying to slot in Sideswipe. He seems like kind of a more accessible version. He doesn't do everything Cliff Jumper does, but one of his
What
effects
is
I
that the
actually
one where
like
you flip
more.
a white, orange, and blue? You get +3, right? Or
No,
is that
he does oh, now I got to look it up. Hold on just a second.
Oh yeah, take it.
So, Sideswipe, when you flip to his alt mode, he gets +2 for each character in your KO area. So, kind of like he gets a version of Cliff Jumper's ability. And
Okay.
then when he's in bot mode, if one of your other characters is KO'd during your opponent's turn, you get to untap him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he is
Yeah.
kind of interesting. Huh.
Yep.
Eight
Yeah,
stars,
so
right?
that's
Or
another
seven
one where
stars.
it could like the Peace Through Tyranny won't untap him because that's your turn. It has to be your opponent's turn. But
Right.
you could dangle Lionizer out there, flip Cliff Jumper in a bot mode, dangle Lionizer out there and get an extra attack. Like now you're
Okay.
acting like a 3 wide.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Yes.
I was thinking about doing those. That sounds good. Something to definitely test. But yeah, and I was thinking about also side decking B. So you side deck B, you take out the Wheeljack and the Star card, mounted missiles or whatever, and add in the B versus like Insecticons or whatever.
You're
And
talking super rare beer? Yeah, super
B,
rare.
yeah, super
Yep.
rare B, yep, the one that can attack untap characters,
Yep.
whatever.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, he
It just
makes
seems
Hot
very
Wheels
strong,
pretty
man.
good
That
against
deck
Insecticons.
seems crazy. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and then all your untapped effects, you kind of just like what cards normally do. And then Quartermaster seems really good too because I just realized like Quartermaster's like swap parts where you remove a Bastion Shield over again, and then you can use the Bastion Shield to trigger it again.
Mm-hmm.
And same with Enforcement Batons and all that. And then if they Enforcement Batons and Ramming Speed / Vaporize are going to be see a lot of play to get rid of those weaponizers. And of course, Quartermaster can just bring it back. So that
Yep.
card's going to be probably one of the best rares in that set for sure.
Yeah, yeah. There's
I
definitely
see it
some
now.
interesting stuff. Are
Yeah.
you because I don't know much about Yu-Gi-Oh. Does Yu-Gi-Oh have a sealed format the same way that Transformers does now?
No, when a new set comes out, the most they do is you open up 5 packs and you can build a deck like with all 5 packs and play like a little tournament, but not really like. Cause I guess that's the closest to sealed you're gonna get. But other than that, it's just usually free play.
Gotcha. So then, is there any? Because I know Gen Con is going to have sealed, and then there's rumor going around that the Energon Invitational might have a sealed format. Is that something you're thinking about in terms of prep that to start learning the sealed format a little bit, or are you
So is it
focused
gonna
on
be
constructed?
like the open with constructed and then also a big sealed tournament, like 2 separate tournaments?
For the Invitational, no one has any idea. For Gen Con, we've got prelims.
Right.
2 each on Friday and Saturday, and then I think after prelims there's sealed format. So it's not part of the preliminary stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I might enter in one, but I'm not really interested in that. I'm really probably interested in because you only get to play with Wave 3 stuff, right? From your packs.
Yeah, I'm assuming the sealed is going to be
Yeah.
just Siege.
I'm not super interested in that. Like, if I might, but overall, I'm probably just focused on the constructed. And
Gotcha.
from what you're saying, the thing I saw from John Temple, he posted what's the word I'm looking for? A possible schedule for the tournaments.
Yes.
From what I saw, it looks like there's going to be 2 tournaments on Thursday, 2 preliminaries on Friday, and then the Open's going to be on Saturday. So they're
Oh,
actually backing everything up. So I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, but I'm
no,
just
no,
saying
you might
that's
be
what I
right.
see.
I'm probably
Yeah,
misremembering the day.
which is kind of cool because then everybody can kind of get home on Sunday now instead of trying to get
Oh
into the week
yeah.
going home. So that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
I don't know if you noticed. I got out of there because it was Father's Day, and I was like, I had promised my dad I'd have like a late lunch with him, so I gotta
Yeah,
get my ass home.
I had a 6 hour drive home and I made it home at 10 to see my son before Father's Day was over. So that's the only thing I don't like. Speaking of that, is just like, wow, they announced Origins for next year already and it's Father's Day. So I'm just going to assume it's always Father's Day weekend. And that kind of sucks because as he
Yeah,
gets older, it's like, okay, am I really going to go play this tournament? You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to spend time with him. So we'll see.
yeah, something to think about. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully, right, if the scene keeps growing, and next year or the year after, instead of 2 qualifiers, there's 4. Like maybe they add another PAX tournament, or like one of the
True.
Transformers conventions could get a card qualifier or something,
Yeah.
which I think would be neat to try and bring in more fans.
Right, right. Well,
Um,
now that I sit here and think about it, I mean, if they like, if GenCon made their qualifiers, like if the Open is definitely going to be on Saturday, if Origins follows that suit next year, that'll be nice because then I can get up early Sunday morning, drive home, and still have most of the day.
True.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Would you
hopefully it does switch to that because that would be cool. So we'll see.
since we are talking about format,
Yeah.
how right, we were kind of the guinea pigs for organized play. Origins was the first time they did it. Do you have any thoughts about kind of how things went, how past times handled things, the judges, the adaptation in terms of what you saw as you played through the tournament?
The only thing I didn't agree with, and I'm actually going to talk about something controversial here because I talked about it in the comment video, but I'm going to talk about it with you here. 2 different things. It's going to be kind of long, not super long. But so the one thing I did not agree with was there was a kid, apparently, a kid, a guy, whatever, around that when the round was called for everybody to sit down, if his opponent wasn't in front of him when they said it was time to play, like, you have 15 minutes until this time or whatever, he would raise his hand and call the judge if his opponent was not sitting in front of him. And then the head judge would issue a game loss. So in Yu-Gi-Oh, like, you have 3 minutes to get there, and if you don't get there in 3 minutes, you lose. You get a game loss, and then
Mm-hmm.
if you don't get there in 10 minutes, it's a match loss. For here, it seemed like it was 0 and 10. So like, if you're not there in your seat when they say start, you get a game loss, and then 10 minutes, you get a get match loss. I feel like you should get at least 2 minutes. What if you're in the bathroom and they just happen to
Right.
call it around? You know what I mean? Like, so I didn't agree with that.
Yeah, I wonder if that's something
And
they'll change for Gen Con. Give a
yeah,
more formal. Same thing with side decking. It seemed like the rules on how much time you're allowed to take to side deck, maybe
yeah,
they'll formalize a little more.
I think, and honestly, the biggest thing, I was talking to Mark about it, and he said, and so did I think they mentioned in their article, Transformers, their article is that people just need to play faster. At first, I was saying add 10 more minutes, but with 10, people still play slow, and that now that I really think about it, that's true. So there were a lot of new players. I mean, we had players that came in and learned the game in a couple of minutes and got invites, right? So we have a lot of new players, and they're trying to learn and this and that. But I think they should really try practicing beforehand because I feel like a
Yep.
lot of players were in the tournament just like freelance, never played against anybody else except for their friends at home. You know what I mean? So definitely has got to learn to get a little faster because it's going to end up costing them a slow play warning
Yeah,
in
there
the
were
future.
there were there were some people that I think they were piloting. Maybe they were picking like a deck that was good against the meta that they were a little less comfortable with, and I think
Yeah.
for some people that ended up costing them games or matches just
Mm-hmm.
because
Yep.
things went to time when maybe their deck did have an advantage, but they just weren't as comfortable. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if they end up adding more time. I don't think that's something they'll do, especially because right,
Probably
if
not.
Gen Con has even more people than Origins, we ended up extending prelims from 5 rounds to 6 rounds. If
Right.
there's more than 64 people, I believe, then they'll
Yeah.
go from 6 to 7 rounds.
Yeah. And even
So
Saturday's tournament, yeah, got pushed back too. So that's true. The second one.
yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
14 hours of prelims on Thursday and Friday would be rough. That's actually something else I wanted to ask you because you played both prelims on Saturday. I bowed out after the morning. I was like, let me go get some rest. I've been playing for
Right.
3 days.
For sure.
How now that you've experienced that kind of back to back, did you I guess was there a decision you made Saturday? Did you play through every round of the first tournament, or did you bow out at some point so you could play the second one?
I went 2-2. I won round one, lost round two, lost round three and four. No, I went 2-3 overall. So with one more round, I dropped out because obviously
Gotcha.
2-3, I'm not going to make it. And then, so it would have been in a weird. I would have been in a weird spot if I would have.
If you were
I
like
guess
4-2 at the time or something.
yeah, or 4-1, I guess, and like, but I don't know, I can't really explain it, but yeah, so it would have been like a awkward position depending on what my record was, and it's like, should I stay or should I go into the next one? But
Yep.
and then it was funny though with the Aerialbots. Of course, I'm thinking the last prelim. To be honest with you, I'm thinking almost the entire field should be Insecticons. It's the easiest brain dead deck to play for the most part, and it's just attack, flip a lot of cards.
Yeah,
So I'm
someone
like, oh
get the
yeah,
win.
people are
Yeah.
definitely gonna. Yeah, so people are definitely gonna play that. Like, should be 80% of the field. So I'm like, I'm definitely playing Aerialbots. First round, play against the mirror. I'm like, oh man, gotta love it.
Everyone else was thinking the same thing you were thinking.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe I wasn't ahead of the game. But man, we played so fast. Like I played fast on my turns, and on his turns, he didn't really move too slow. But then, like I think after I won game one, I like just mentioned to him, like, yeah, man, I'm not trying to go to time. So I wasn't saying that towards him, but I'm just saying that's why I was moving fast, and he agreed with me. And then like game two, did we go to? We might have went to game three, but we just played fast for the rest of the match. So it was nice because normally the mirror match would go into time with a draw.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I saw a lot of that on Friday. All like there were like 4 or 5 Aerialbots players, and they all seemed to find each other.
Yeah. Yep. It was funny.
So going through the both prelims on Saturday, and knowing that that seems like that's going to be the schedule when it becomes official for Gen Con, do you have any plan to deal with kind of that back to back? Do you already have an idea in your head? Okay, if I get my second loss in the first 3 rounds, then I'm canceling so I can get ready for the next one, or any sort of
Something like
strategy
that.
in that.
But to be honest with you, like especially for Incon and Origins or any other, these type of tournaments in the future, I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely going to try to get there and play all four.
Mm-hmm.
Like from now on, try to have the highest chance of, getting it early or whatever. But
Yep.
yeah, in terms of what you're asking, yeah, that's pretty much what it's going to be. Like if I lose round one, like that's what's going to be the toughest decision. Like, do I stay? Do I go? And it's honestly a headache, and it's when you still don't have your invite to the open in the
Yep.
last prelim. So I was really, and then I don't want to say any sleep, but didn't get out till 11. Still needed to eat because I had like just maybe a protein bar throughout the entire day.
Yep.
So I didn't get to bed till like 1 or 2 o'clock. So I got like 6 hours of sleep. But yeah.
But I mean, you fought through that, and you
Yeah.
rallied, and you came back and won everything. So
Yeah.
congratulations again.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I was
Uh,
settling for just top 16 at that point. Like it was such a bad weekend.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was just happy for top 16 at that point. I was like, man, can I at least get that so I can like not go to get if I don't want to go to GenCon. And I
Having to
got that.
worry about that.
And then but I just kept winning from there. And I'm just like, once I won top 8 and got to top 4, I kind of snapped and was like, I could actually probably win this thing. What's 2
Yeah.
more wins, So then I got back to focusing and took it from there. So
Yeah, well, again, congratulations. I think. Oh, I had something else I wanted to ask you, but now I can't remember
it's all good.
it. But yeah, thanks for coming on, and thanks for letting me pick your brain a little bit.
Cameron, man, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and everyone else, whoever's listening, I hope I see you guys at Gen Con. SDotAkuma, I'm sure I'll see you at Gen Con, and hopefully we can have another conversation there.
For sure.
I plan on,
Yeah, I'm
like
like
you said,
70 or 80% sure I'm going right now. So
Yep.
I just gotta. I wish they would post the official, tournament
Yep.
script or whatever, so I can hurry up and get my plane ticket and
Yeah, book
figure
your
out what I'm
flight
doing.
and figure out where
Yeah.
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 Yeah, hopefully
Yep.
I think that'll happen pretty soon.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, thanks again, man. And if you
Hey, thank
haven't
you.
checked out SDotAkuma's channel, I mean, I think probably most people have at this point, but he's got his YouTube channel. He posts.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of love, man. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. You're posting some deck lists. You post a lot of matches, which I appreciate. Those are the ones that always interest me the most. Is the actual gameplay, because I think
Yes.
with my community being a little smaller, it's nice to be able to play vicariously. Helps me learn a little bit. But yeah, check out SDotAkuma's channel, and catch you all on the next one. Thanks again, man.
All right, man. No doubt. Thank you.